If you're going to get one thing right for your testosterone, then it needs to be your diet. And this is going to be my full day of eating that I've iterated and refined over years to have high energy, to have a solid libido, to be in pretty decent shape, to go from a skinny, fat little soy boy to someone who feels like he could kill a tiger with his bare hands every single day. That's what every single man should be aspiring to be doing, getting high test and feeling insane. And it's exactly what I teach on this channel. And also in this video as well, I'm going to give you a free interactive checklist for your testosterone that you can use to pair with this diet. So you can use this diet and also the checklist to feel insanely good. Firstly, I'm just going to go through some principles that I follow every single day. And these are very simple, it's nothing crazy. Whole foods should be pretty obvious. I only eat natural, whole, single ingredient foods basically 99% of the time. Unless it's some special occasion. But I can't even give you an example because it's very rare. It has to be whole foods majority of the time, because you'll get this mainstream advice of like, if it fits your protein and your macros, it's fine, eat what you want. I don't operate like that. The people I want to work with and the people I do work with don't operate like that. This is about becoming, as it says in the title, superhuman, living in an optimal way, and including ultra processed foods in your daily life is not the way to do that. I stay hydrated throughout the day. Sparkling water. Doesn't have to be sparkling, I just prefer sparkling. Making sure I'm getting enough electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium. I have some hydrating fruits. Very important, because when you're dehydrated, cortisol's up, which is your stress hormone. When your stress hormones are firing and high, your testosterone is going to be lower, especially if you're chronically stressed. Number 3 is alcohol. This has to be kept to an absolute minimum. Alcohol is the devil for testosterone. It's going to be the devil for your energy, how you feel. It completely destroys you. It's going to tax your liver. This has to be kept to once a month maximum. Ideally, once every 6 to 8 weeks is going to be much better, or just the best option. Don't drink it at all. But I'm not going to tell you to do that because I don't do that. I drink once every 6 to 8 weeks is probably the average, and that seems to be okay for me. And I only drink on special occasions. In the UK, there's a big culture of just going out every weekend. No, not for me. Number 4 is a high-fat diet. This is absolutely essential for your hormones, your libido, your energy. This is lacking majorly in the modern world because people are still afraid of fat. I get 150 grams of fat a day, and I'm leaner than basically every person that I know. And I'm not even crazy lean, but everyone is scared of fat because it's going to make them fat. It's not how it works. Calories, excess calories, being in a calorie surplus for too long is going to make you fat. Fat is going to get your hormones where they need to be. It's going to make sure you have a functioning endocrine system. Trust me, do this. Eat healthy fats like I'm going to show you in this video. It completely changes the game. You feel unbelievable. When I went from a classic bodybuilder, oats and protein shake diet to a high-fat steak, eggs diet, one of the biggest changes I ever made in my life. And there are literally 4 basic principles that I follow for my diet. But moving on to the morning is I start the day with 4 to 6 eggs, and I normally have this in an omelette form. Not for any specific reason, because it's just how I enjoy it the most. And I'm not a massive fan of sunny side up eggs, but that's probably the best way to have them. But I have them in an omelette form, and I have them with cheese, and the cheese is normally mozzarella or cheddar cheese, and I have some mushrooms. I cannot just think of an average serving because I don't really track calories. So I don't find that I need to, and I'm not in a place where I need to track calories. Just think of these as all average servings because I couldn't give you a number because it's so, I just do it. I just pick up what I think is a good amount to have. And then I have half a medium avocado, a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. And then I'll wait a little bit, and right before the gym, I'll have some medjool dates, 2 to 3 normally, with some honey and a little bit of butter. As you can see, it's quite a high calorie morning, but when you're optimized, when you're in a place where your metabolism's firing, you're doing everything else right, you're getting good sleep, you can eat this way. I eat this like 3 times a day, and I just remain lean as long as you're active. And like I say, you're doing the right things in your entire lifestyle. And when you're eating whole foods, it's just like you can eat whatever the hell you want because you just get satiated and you don't like overeat on all these foods. And as you can see, we've got the protein from the eggs. This is going to be about 40 to 50 grams of protein overall, with the cheese. But this is an incredibly high fat breakfast, and it sets you up for the day very, very nicely. You're getting a lot of fat in this meal. And I have the dates because I eat this and then I wait about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then I go to the gym, dates, simple sugars, good for performance in the gym, raw honey for enzymes, micronutrients, and again, carbs for the gym. But it's a very, very solid morning. Eat like this, you'll feel absolutely insane. This absolutely crushes cereal. How are you going to beat someone who eats like this compared to someone who eats cereal? You're not. Then moving on to lunch is always usually ground beef. And I have 250 grams of 25% fat, 75% lean ground beef. So it's very, very high fat. You can get 80-20, but the one I buy is just 75-25. You're getting a lot of fat, you're getting a lot of protein, you're getting all your B vitamins, you're getting micronutrients, you're getting iron. And I have that this is post-workout. I have this with some potatoes, some cheese, usually cheddar cheese, and then a little bit of fruit post-workout. Maybe an orange or some pomegranate. It just depends on the day. Because I don't stick to the exact same thing every single day. I do change it up slightly, but this is a very, very consistent template that I follow, and I might change a few things here and there. Again, this feels fantastic to eat post-workout. Beef, getting fats, getting protein. I cook that in coconut oil as well, a little teaspoon. 2 potatoes maybe, with some cooked in olive oil and a bit of seasoning, a bit of garlic, cheese, fruit. Powerful. You feel absolutely insane. This is the way to do it, fellas, I'm telling you. Eat like this. You're going to be waking up with an absolute pole every single morning. You're going to put all over muscle. You're going to feel insane. Your energy is just going to be through the roof. You're going to have women crawling all over you. Maybe. But that's lunch, pretty simply. I might sometimes have some dark chocolate after, 85% or 90% usually, but that just depends on the day. And then the evening is going to be either steak, chicken thighs, or some form of fatty fish like salmon or mackerel or sardines. And it is important you rotate these in 2 or 3 times a week for the omega-3 fats. But I would pick one of them, so it'd be steak, chicken thighs, or fish. And then I would have that with some eggs. You could do another 3 eggs, another 3 to 4 eggs. And then depending on your activity level and how much you've actually trained in the day, you can do maybe some white rice, or you can do some potatoes. But I only really include these when I've been training a lot, when I've been pushing like big workouts, maybe doing more cardio. You don't want to be smashing out loads of starchy carbs and loads of sugar in a day where you're not doing anything. Keep carbs not very low. Have less than half of the carbs you would have on an active day on a rest day. So cut them by 50% when you're not doing anything. Use them as a tool for performance, because that's what they are. And obviously you've got thyroid health and brain health and stuff like that. But primarily carbs is fantastic for performance. Again, in the gym, if I don't have carbs, my workouts are awful. They are very important. And then I'll have another teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil and maybe a little bit more fruit after, depending on the day again and depending on the activity levels. And just a few honourable mentions as well that I've actually forgot to chuck in is I will sometimes have Brazil nuts for the selenium, like 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day. I will also have some just more honey and throughout the day. And you've got kefir. I include 2 or 3 times a week because this is a probiotic, it's good for your gut health. And also whole milk as well. I don't have raw milk, not for any specific reason apart from the fact where I live, it is such a nightmare to sort out. And I don't really, it's not something I think is as crazy as people say. Am I against it? Definitely not. But it's not something that I've experimented with enough to give my major opinion on. But I have whole milk occasionally, a few times a week maybe. But you eat like this, the benefits you unlock are absolutely insane. And the benefits look a bit like this. First of all, one of the biggest ones is libido. Because it's just the amount of fat you give your body, your testosterone is firing, your hormones are firing. It's going to go through the roof. Like everything, it's going to go through the roof here. Your energy is going to go through the roof. You're going to find yourself more driven. You're going to experience a lot of clarity in your mind. You have a very clear mind. This is one that I experienced very early on and was one of the biggest changes for me because no more brain fog. You can actually think clearly. It feels fantastic. Your mood's going to be more stable. You're going to feel good all day. You're going to be happy. This makes you happy. When you take care of your hormones, it fixes your life. Trust me. You're going to sleep better. You're going to put on more muscle. You're going to find fat loss easier. Just copy this. Obviously, if you're significantly bigger or significantly smaller than me, you would adjust your portion sizes based on that. But this is such solid template to follow that any man can follow. I can't, unless you've got any allergies here, which I can't really, you know, you could be like lactose intolerant. It's fine. You could just take that stuff out and it would still work. You could do some supplements as well, like you do your D3, you do a bit of magnesium, do some boron. But this is the way. From my experience, this is how you feel absolutely insane. You get the libido, you get the energy, you get the progress in the gym, you get the strength. Just by eating like this. It's the way to do it. But this is the Superhuman Diet. Per se, there is a Notion checklist that you can download completely for free in the description. Tick off every single day. It's interactive. You can download it onto your own phone. Go check it out. It's step by step what I do in the morning, the lunch, and the evening to get high libido, to get energy, to be driven, to get a solid physique. It's all in there. Go and check it out. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.